I came here 10 months ago with a brief, in my view, to find a way to make journalism pay. And that proved pretty tough, as you would expect. It wasn't something that sort of you'd knock off after the first quarter and think, okay, what do I do now for the rest? So in looking at how to do that, I did at least have the advantage of some kind of practical approach that I wanted to take, which was audio. So here's the theory. The theory is people may not be convinced to pay for content, but you can convince them to pay for convenience. So if you find ways to deliver content in a way that offers convenience, you may have something of value. And the idea then is to create an audio product that delivers that convenience to consumers, initially in their cars and in vehicles, but ultimately everywhere where people go. So so there are three questions that we've set ourselves to ask in this process. First is, can we build it and do it? And the good news is we can. We did. There's an iPhone app that should be in the store in 2 weeks. One of the things you asked us about what we learned, Dawn. Yes. One of the things I learned is that the iPhone app process takes an awful lot longer than they advertise. And they'll fail you for the pettiest of things. So the first stage is, can we do it? Now, does it sound great? Not necessarily, but Andrew, you gave me a great quote a couple of weeks ago about if you're not embarrassed by the output of your version 1, then you've released too late. And in a way, that's given that I am embarrassed by how our version 1 looks, that's a tremendous comfort. Version 1 really is about this first question of, can we execute? Can we actually put together, at the costs that we've talked about, a series of news stories that are personalizable, usable, listenable, interesting and engaging? A series of really, really difficult, big questions when you've got no money to spend on it. We're halfway through that, and the answer to the question, I'm really confident that the answer to that question is going to be yes. The second question then is, can we get people to use it? So it's all very well having this thing and all very well having all these stories, but can you convince substantial quantities of people to use it? The third question then becomes, can you convince people to pay for the content, to pay for any kind of content? So remember the theory: core, free content, pay to bolt in specialist stuff that you're interested in, something specific about Chicago schools, for example, throw it in there for $2 a month. Trivial amounts of money, not big amounts of money, things that you pay to bolt on, to conveniently delivered in the car. At this point, I have no chance of telling you whether or not that's going to work or not. I genuinely have absolutely no idea. What I do know is that if we do manage to pull it off, this is a potential game transformer, not just in America, but everywhere. We were talking about, sort of jokingly in the lift, about NPR and how this linked to NPR. I don't see this actually, oddly, as a competitor to NPR. I think it might draw people away who see NPR as the only thing they currently have, but I see this as a different way of consuming very rapid-fire news, and then ultimately a way of bringing very specialist news into that stream for you to consume in time that you would otherwise waste in the car.